the star. Grandchildren will fight together against darkness. As they all returned to the box that appeared to look like a jail for children, with their essence and all of their full powers, as if they never left that box, along with their parents Aries, Sagi, Taurus, April, Leo, August, Uranus, Venus, Pluto, and June that later joined them when they found them. Lady Ashley attached a tracking device on her grandchildren before they left to find them in case they kept moving, so that their parents would be able to meet up with them. Lord Germaine telepathically sent a message to Aries telling him,
"We were able to track the children, and I'm going to tell you exactly where they are."
Aries replied.
Thank you, Dad.
And Lord Germaine's reply was,
"You are welcome, son. Love you, be safe, and protect our family."
Lord Germaine never revealed to Aries that the actual kids were safe at home already because he wanted their plan to be executed perfectly. The parents were pretty hot on their trail, but very discreet in how they moved. They all wanted to move in without being seen or heard. The chariot the grandchildren were being pulled along in finally came to a complete stop. They grandchildren looked out in their environment and thought, "We have never seen anything like this before." It was suddenly very dark and gloomy and didn't appear to be any life force there. It was dark like the dark forces surrounding them. Hawkeye approached them trying to scare them, but little did he know the powers they all possessed. He watched them and observed them, but he never really saw them use powers full out because the grandchildren didn't want to hurt each other, or possibly cause injury, or even death to themselves or others. If anyone attempted to hurt them in any way, they are fearless, with an extra boost of power from their grandparents. The parents watched and observed the children's body language, and they could tell their children had no fear of what was to become of them.
Are those our kids?
They were all there to protect.
We came here to protect our kids, but they look like they can handle themselves.
But little did they know how much real skills their children had, which made Aries wonder if they were the real children, but it didn't matter. The minute Herman reached at Chris, he burned him with his fire and froze him. When Hawkeye saw the powers they possessed, he called on reinforcements. It was so many of them, but it didn't scare the grandchildren. Chris and Tatiana have the same gifts and put their powers together like yin and yang, destroying one at a time, and using their swords to trap the dark forces they defeat inside. Their swords are smaller, but hold the same strength as the adult-sized swords. Meredith used her wand, and so did Kendall, to move from place to place, allowing the dark forces to come together so they would be trapped in the swords. Courtney and Ayana were both the seers and could transport, but it was limited to only how far they could see. If they weren't able to see what was on the other side, they couldn't do it. Their powers will get stronger with time. Alicia and Elliot use their earth power. Calvin and Lena use their water powers. Dennis and Denise use their fire powers on the dark forces to hold them in place until they could be entered into the swords, but they were multiplying in numbers. And it began to be too much for the children to fight alone. And all of their parents joined into the fight to help them. Aries took out his sword and captured many dark forces, but their supplies were getting low. Sag used her swords and her magician power to capture the dark forces. Uranus pulled out his sword of truth, and the dark forces he was up against replied,
"I will destroy you. Use your power and take all of your family's gifts as well."
Uranus captured the dark forces, but was haunted by its words. Pluto and June used their gift of water. Leo and August used their gifts of fire. And April, along with Venus, used their gifts to bury some of the dark forces, but they kept multiplying. Taurus built a huge ground covering over them to allow everyone a chance to take a break and come up with a plan to destroy and capture these dark forces. As they were discussing their plan, Lady Ashley and Lord Germaine flew in on Black Stag, and Lady Kayla and Lord Gary teleported there from the land of Tarok. The grandparents came, prepared in their suit of armor and shield, with extra supplies. After they witnessed what was happening, they were hoping to stay out of this fight. But it was a bit much for a family that doesn't fight regularly, but something that the grandparents were all so used to.